Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Playing the Catcher. I'm your host, J.R. Holden, and I'm with
Leslie.
my other co-host.
His wife.
Well, my only co-host.
That's not to say what.
So today's episode, well, first let's talk, how's wedding season going for you?
So Weather City's going good. It's starting to ramp up again. Summer was a little bit slower, but now we're getting into like 30-day meetings for my couples coming up. Weddings are coming up, so it's exciting. Busy, but exciting.
Yes, it's fall season, it's the fall, and that is prime wedding season. So if you know anyone who is in the wedding business, caterers, florists, musicians, photographers, videographers, officiants, we're all busy. Don't text us on the weekends. We're locked in. We're trying to help as many couples and give them the best service that we can.
Agreed. So sorry to friends and family. If you're going to ask me what I'm doing this weekend and next weekend, most likely weddings.
Always weddings. So for fall wedding season, it's from the beginning of September now, and it's till November.
Yeah, I have a couple weddings in November, one in December actually, two so far. So yes, it's longer than just September, October now. I feel like it's extending out to the year. So it's a busy season, but it's fun.
Yeah, and wedding seasons, there's seasons of weddings, wedding seasons. So you have your fall wedding season, and then you have like your springtime wedding season. So if you're a newly engaged couple and you're looking to get married in those dates, you better lock in everything as soon as you can, because those dates and those venues fill up very quickly. And most likely one of your favorite vendors, or most vendors at all, are usually booked during those times.
Yeah, and I can say too, because those are like peak wedding season, spring and fall, they tend to be more expensive too. So if you're working on a budget, or want to not spend so much money, I would look to the out season or like the non-peak season, like the January, February, July, August, that type of thing as well.
And I'm not even. But now there's a lot of couples who are getting married during the week. So you get married on a Wednesday, a Thursday. Sunday weddings are also something that I've been seeing a lot lately over these last few years.
Agreed. Because I think couples are seeing that venues are offering those dates now because they're at a lower cost. So once again, if you're saving money or you're working on a budget, a Friday wedding, a Sunday wedding, could still look beautiful and just be cheaper. So get away all your options.
Yeah, because a lot of brides and brides and their grooms, I feel like we should have probably had a wedding weekend.
Why do you say that?
So like people get married on a Saturday, let's say.
Typically.
Like extend the celebration all 3 days. Why not have a nice, instead of having a rehearsal dinner with your close friends, I mean your close family who's only in the wedding, maybe you do like a bigger welcome party, right? Or then Sunday you have a going away party, and like be able to make it a wedding weekend. So if you do get married on a Sunday, you can have like your welcome party on a Friday. You can have a cookout or a happy hour event on Saturday. So it's celebrating your love the whole weekend. So I feel like a lot of brides just get married on Saturday.
Yeah.
The couples get married on Saturday, and then like that's it. Like
Yeah, and it can get costly too if you do a welcome party on a Friday and then a goodbye brunch on a Sunday. But also too, what I've noticed is like with the holidays, use the holidays in your favor. So like Labor Day's on a Monday, so get married that weekend because then you have 4 days where you're not like taking off work. Or Memorial Day weekend that falls on, or Memorial Day falls on a Monday, so use that. There's your extra days, 3 or 4 days. So there's little tricks you can do. Talk to a wedding planner, talk to friends and family, check the calendar to see what works. But there's definitely ways to have a good weekend, so it's not just, oh, I only saw you for 5 minutes the whole weekend. That's like a thing.
so. Let me ask you a question, because I heard you say costly. Are you more of a planner who's going to help save the couple money? Or are you more of the planner who's going to go over the top and recommend things that isn't in their budget but they may want?
I think I'm a mixture of both, but ultimately, if I'm doing a full planning or partial planning, I have time and I have those options to do that with the couples, because if I'm coming day of / month of, everything's already planned out. So it's coming in the end of it. So I don't really have say on what they've done because they've been already doing this without me. So for full and partial clients, I typically ask them, like, what's your budget? What are your must-haves? Like I talked about in the last video, like, what are your must-haves? What's the most important thing to you? Because let's focus on that. And I can show you a low end of a photographer, a high end of a photographer, meaning in costs, not necessarily saying who they are and how they shoot, but like how much they cost. So I like to give couples options because everybody's different, right? Everybody has different budgets. Everybody has different taste on what they're looking for, what they want for their wedding day. So I think it's smart as a planner to show them, hey, this is what it is, or hey, this is what you're looking for. Well, this is how much it's going to cost. So are you willing to pay for that? Or you want to scale it down and we can still make it look pretty? So I would say I do a little bit of both to answer your question. Since that's like the planner perspective, how about for photo video? Are you trying to sell your highest package to every couple, or you're just kind of trying to listen to what they need? How do you do it?
Oh man. So I believe that everyone should have somewhere where they start at.
Yeah.
So I have a price that I start at. And I'm tinkering with doing different things for different couples, but I just feel like most photographers and videographers, when you're newly engaged and you're inquiring to photographers, videographers, they're all going to have a starting price. And most photographers, videographers are going to have their packages.
Yeah.
And you're going to go from a 4 hour or 6 hour, you're going to go to an 8 or 10, you're going to go to a 12, and then you'll go to all day coverage. I would recommend that couples always go with at least the 8-hour day. Just because a photographer or videographer, the creatives coming in, they're going to want to be able to capture your story from start to finish. When you're in there for 4 hours, necessarily you can't do that 4 or 6 hours, depending on your timelines. And 12 hours might be too long of a day. But whatever the couple wants to book, they can book.
Right.
But I feel like that 8 to 10 hour stretch is a good stretch, especially if you're looking at different spots for your wedding day, as opposed to if you're getting married, you're getting ready in a hotel, then you want to have your first look in a park, and then you want to have another bridal portraits at another park. Then your ceremonies at a church. Then from your church, you want to go to another park or scenic place to take photos, and you want to take those photos, and you go to the reception.
That's a long day.
It's a long day.
Yeah.
So having those 9 to 10 hour days are good for that. Maybe you only need 6 hours if you're getting married in one location. So it really is a case by case scenario. But definitely as a newly engaged couple, reach out to your vendors. They should have packages, and just explain to them what you need. And your vendor should definitely be able to explain to you what they should give you.
Yeah, I agree. As the vendor, we should be steering couples into what would make sense for them. So I don't like when like vendors are trying to oversell or push things on couples, because what if they don't need it? What if they're not interested in it? Like, mention it in a way where maybe like, hey, something to think about. But if their couple's like, I want this, this, and this, why are we trying to do more if that's not what they need?
Yeah, so my process, I just explain to you what I offer. I explain to you the best case scenarios. If you just need I'm just going for me. If you need me and you want me for photo and video, I can do both. But the best coverage would be for me to bring another person in to do video. That's going to be an extra cost. If you and your bride or you and your significant other are getting married in 2 different places and the timeline doesn't allow me to go to both, then I'm going to recommend having a second shooter.
Right.
And the second shooter is somebody who is at second angle, who's able to capture things from different perspectives. While I'm shooting this here, they can be over there shooting other things, right? So I always explain to couples all the things that I offer and then go from there. Maybe you don't want to see your whole ceremony in full coverage. You don't need that, but maybe you want to see the toasts and speeches. So I just explain to couples what I offer, and then I give the value based on how it helps them be able to relive their day.
Right. Yeah. So like when I talk to couples on like consultation calls, that's a big thing that I say. Like, I'm like, hey, these are the services I offer. What are you interested in? And then if they pick one, I kind of talk about that service. And then in conversation, you can kind of see if they're leaning one way or the other. Or maybe I was thinking about just set up, not break down. Or maybe I don't need you for 12 hours, maybe 10 hours. So it's really just seeing what they need to kind of help them. It's their wedding day. So how can I best support you? So you talked a lot about kind of like knowing like your starting point and kind of trying to figure out how many hours you need, especially if you're going to different locations. And so that's really big for a timeline. Um, if you want to go to several different locations, you definitely need to get a wedding planner to help you with that because you're not going to know the ins and outs logistics of it. You need to communicate with your photo video team to say, hey, this is where I want to go. These are the different places. And then talking with the planner to figure out where that can go in the schedule, how we can make it make sense, right? So like, do you think the photographer or the wedding planner should make up the timeline?
I believe that
Careful what you say. No, I'm just kidding.
I believe the photographer and the planner should collaborate together.
Good answer. Good answer.
Now, as a wedding day, this is my look on it. As a wedding day, there are certain hard times,
Yeah.
right? Couple gets married at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Usually it's a cocktail hour. So guests should be going to cocktail hour at 7 o'clock.
Your ceremony is an hour long?
I'm sorry. So it should be 6 to, you give them an hour to 7. So then maybe you get 8 o'clock entrances should be going on. So there's some hard times that you should, and you like, as you rent a venue, they'll have a hard stop for you to leave too.
Yeah.
So if you're more of a partying couple, you want to really party and dance, maybe you want to get to your reception earlier,
Yeah.
get that started. But I believe that timelines are a good general idea of how the day should go. And I feel like a lot of couples, and this is most of the times I see with brides and grooms that get stressed is when something goes wrong in the timeline. And then they get so upset about trying to catch up time. And it's the wedding day is for you two. Nothing happens. This is what I told them. Nothing happens without you two. So you're never late for anything. Now, she may say different, but it's your wedding day. You need to breathe and take it all in. Because if you don't, that shit will go by real fast and you won't even know what happened. All your money go like, what? I didn't even see the cake. I didn't see the ice sculpture at cocktail hour. I didn't see all the little things that we wanted because we didn't take time to go look. So
I don't fully disagree with you. Like, I think actually I tell my couples now, like, timelines are guides, like a guide for the vendors. Because like you stated, some couples get very fixated on like, well, the timeline says at 5:30 we need to do this. And the timeline says at 7 p.m. we need to do that. So I don't want couples to get stuck on the timeline. Like the timeline is a guide to kind of show the vendors what's going on, what's coming up next, what needs to happen. Hey, make sure you don't forget about this. So they're like reminders because who even sees the timeline? Because let's talk about timelines. So as the wedding planner working on a timeline, it can be very difficult because you're trying to get all the information from the vendors on logistics, like what time are you arriving, what time are you leaving, stuff like that. So when vendors don't look at timelines, it's very frustrating as a wedding planner because I spent all this time doing it, and then the whole time at the wedding, you're asking me, where do we go? What time does this start? What's happening next? There's a timeline for a reason. Please, vendors, look at it. But back to couples. That was my little rant because, like I said, working on these timelines can get frustrating to try to fit everything in to make sure it makes sense. And then some vendors don't even look at them. So it's like, why am I even doing them? Even though I need to do
I'll
it.
tell you, sometimes
I'm just too organized. I need to know what's going on.
I've been doing weddings for a decent amount of time. And all I really look at is the timeline is when I need to be there, right? And from there, everything is pivots. You got to be able to pivot during a wedding day. If your vendors don't want to pivot, then they're stubborn. And that could also be a red flag. Like, hey, I would like this. And then they're pushing back. But I need to know when I need to be there.
Yeah.
And as a photographer, a videographer, I know when I need to get during the day. So there's times where I may look at a timeline and be like, whoa. We don't have enough time to do all these portraits that you want. So maybe we need to do this. So it's always good to communicate with your couple, communicate with all the vendors, let them know like what you need to be able to make sure that you serve the bride and groom the best way that you can. We all need to be able to serve them, right? So it's all a collaborative effort when it comes to the timeline. But like, I just look at it to be like, I'm there, we here, and we gonna rock this day out.
And yes, I agree on that because some things can be adjusted. Like you said, we can pivot because say the couple wants to move up a speech instead of having it at the end of the night, or say they want to move something because their mood has changed for the day, and that's totally fine. So that's when I say that it's like a guide, that's what I mean. We can change things, we can pivot, we can adjust because it's for the couple. It's their wedding day ultimately. So if you don't want to do something, we don't got to do it. But like we do need the timeline for certain things for like catering because they need to know what time they need to serve or have the food ready because you want it to be hot, right? You want it to be ready. Or say for a photo video, if you want to do sunset photos, there's a very like, I don't know if that's a big range or time range. It's a small window, right? So if you don't get out there when you're supposed to, you're going to miss the whole point of sunset photos. So I think that there are certain things or certain moments in a timeline that's very important that needs to be stick to or you're going to miss it. And other things, we can go with the flow. I'm totally okay with that because as long as the couple's happy, what does it really matter, right?
And I think as a couple, when you are in your wedding day, don't worry about the timeline.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna tell you where you need to be
Yes.
at all times. Like,
Yes.
now, if you don't have a planner, then that's not gonna be the case. You might need to look at your timeline bubble. Remember, we're pro planner on this podcast. There's nothing that you need to do. The first thing you should do is always hire a planner. So whenever we talk about something, we think we're already in our heads that you have a planner. Somebody, day of, full planning. Somebody, a venue manager, someone will tell you where you need to be on your wedding day.
Yes, because like you said earlier, we're not going to start without you. So don't get fixated on where you need to be, what you need to be doing, because someone will be telling you throughout the whole day. Like as a wedding planner, I try very much to communicate like, hey, in a couple, like I try to do warnings, like especially for like speeches for if it, like the maid of honor, best man, they always get so nervous, right? So I'm like, hey, 5 minutes, we're gonna do this. So it gives them a warning. It gives them a heads up, like, okay, if I need to use the bathroom, if I need to go freshen up, or even for the couple, hey, after introduction to going straight to first dance, okay, I'll grab a bouquet. Like just communicate with who you need to, whether it's vendors or the couple. And hey, do you want to do this right now? Do you want to wait a little bit? How are you feeling about this? Like check in because you can have everything planned out on the wedding day and things just change because they're having a good time dancing on the dance floor and they don't want to leave. Or Uncle Bob is sick now, so we can't do the blessing, so we'll get somebody else, or it can be shorter. Like, there's things that can be adjusted in it. It will be okay. Like, it's not going to ruin the wedding day at all. So that's what I want couples to remember.
Like, so for me, when I look at a timeline, I need to know when I'm starting.
Right.
I need to know when the ceremony is.
Yeah.
I need to know when cocktail hour is. I need to know when speeches are. And when dinner is served. Because if I know dinner's being served, that means it's not for me to eat as well. Or it's close to me being fed. And couples, make sure you feed your vendors. You know, I seen all the thing the other day. I was at a wedding. And I was looking at the website. I went to this venue. I was at the venue. I was looking at the website. This is what I do. I go to a venue. I'm like, oh, this is a nice place. I like to look at the stuff. So I'm looking at the venue. Go to their PDF. They charge $85 for vendor meals.
Really? And then usually what? It's a bad lunch or chicken and
This said venues. So we went to the venue where I was at a wedding and we were getting fed. It's a buffet.
Oh, okay.
But it's a terrible buffet. And I was like, what is this? Like, this is terrible. So I'm like, nah, hold on. I go to the website, I'm looking, and they charge $85 for a buffet. It was like some terrible pasta, some hard bread, and some cold shrimp. It was like peeled shrimp, but it was some cold little baby shrimps. Like, you would have to eat like 70 of them. I don't know if these were even legal shrimp. They were so tiny, but
That's crazy because it doesn't make sense because was it different food than the guests?
oh yeah, the guests were getting lobster tails, steaks. Oh, the spread was amazing for the guests. So I was like, yeah.
Do you think the couple chose that or the venue automatically does that? Because I feel like a lot of times, not a lot of times, I'll say a couple of times, the couple that I've been working with or booked me, they're like, oh, what do you want for your meal on wedding day? And so I'll pick something or whatever, let them know or do it on their site so they're aware of what I chose. And then sometimes the venue will be like, nope, here's plain chicken, no sauce, and a potato. And that's not what I selected. So it's like the couple's paying for me to get whatever they chose. So why am I getting something different? If the couple already paid for it too, how's it hurting the caterer? Right? Like that doesn't make any sense.
The vendor meals are such a terrible.
That's a whole episode on its own. All right, so back to the timeline. So timelines are important depending on what you want to do, right? So if you want to have a first look, then we definitely need to have a time for it because we need to make sure photo video's there. We got to make sure the couple's even ready for it. So I think that's an important time. Obviously ceremony, because how do we know when we're gonna start?
Hair and makeup, and you know when hair and makeup's going to start. So
Yeah,
the bridesmaids, you
for wedding party, yeah, absolutely. So they know. And guys are usually lucky and they can sleep in, and the girls. Like I just spoke to a bride that I have, and she told me they're starting at 6 a.m. Isn't that crazy? Because
have 15 bridesmaids. And they,
well, they're getting they're getting married a little early, like at 3 o'clock. They want to do a first look. They want to get a lot of photos out of the way so they can enjoy a cocktail hour. So like, there's pros and cons to everything. They're starting early because they want to get a lot of pictures out of the way so that they can enjoy a cocktail hour. Or then you have some couples that can start a little bit later. They don't care about cocktail hour, and that's when they'll do their photos. So it's just all preference too.
I wish we would the cocktail hour.
Yeah.
Like when we got married, we had our own private cocktail hour. You don't remember?
Well, I was there.
But she's looking at me crazy like, do we? But I wish I went to the regular cocktail hour. I think I would have changed that. So if we were to go to that, or if your couple wants to go to your cocktail hour, then you need to make sure you adjust your whole day.
Yes.
You know, be able to take all those photos out the way
Yes.
earlier in the day.
But then also too, for doing that, you need to make sure you're letting know the appropriate people. Like if it's not just bridal party, maybe immediate family, parents, grandparents, siblings, and uncles, whoever you want photos with before the ceremony, that they know that too. Because they need to be there early enough so they can take the photos, right? And if they aren't there, yeah, you can do it after the ceremony. But like if you're trying to save time, just make sure everybody knows who's supposed to be there is there on the right time. So that's an important time for the timeline too.
And this goes out to DJs because DJs love to switch up the time. Like we may have our own separate timeline done. Everybody's been working on this timeline all day long, right? And then boom, the reception about to start. There's a DJ with his own timeline. Like, whoa, bro, wait a minute, bro. Like DJs also chime in to the chat because I know planners reach out to y'all. I know some videographers do, photographers do, but please, DJs, this is just the Smitty rant. Please stick to the timeline. You can have your own mini timeline inside of the timeline. So like, if you start at 7 o'clock and toast start at 8, cool. Do whatever you want to do till 8 o'clock, but just don't move toast up. Don't be doing all this wild stuff. Or if you do, just let us know when we get there. Usually, I know we like to have team meetings, so we'll come up and be like, "Yo, Tyler, videographer, we're coming up to the DJ. Hey, what's the plan for today?" And that's great collaboration as a team to help the bride and groom or the couple start off the reception right.
Right, I agree because it's not just one person saying this is what we're doing for the whole day. Like, let's talk about it. Let's have that little meeting a couple minutes before something's about to happen. Because say something on the timeline that I put doesn't make sense or just changes the other day. DJ, if you have a change, let's talk about it first. Like, I don't mind changes at all, but let's talk about it. Let's figure it out so I know what's going on. I can let people know what's going on depending on who it's affecting so they're ready too. Instead of just blindsiding and being like, oh crap, I didn't know. Or hey, the photos in the bathroom. Or the video is changing his lens, right? Like, just let me know what's going on. Or hey, I've been filling out the room and I think I would like to do this different. With me, let's do it then. You think that will be better? You're the DJ. You control the flow of the night, right, with the music. So I'm okay to change, but let's talk about it. Let's just not just go on our own and then what are we doing? And we all look dumb, right? Like, we want to look professional. We want to look like we know what we're doing and we're all on the same team. That's the biggest thing. We're all on the same team.
We're all on team bride and groom, bride and bride, glue to groom, couple.
Yes, because that's who our client is, right? Like, that's who booked us typically. So like, we want to do what makes your day the best day you've ever had.
What's something during a wedding day that you wish was eliminated?
Can we get rid of bouquet toss, garter toss? What else?
So you have a long list. I didn't say it's with thing. It's multiple things.
Okay, this is my hot take. Don't be mad at me. Being at weddings, I've noticed sometimes it can be difficult during speeches to have them during the wedding day because guests aren't listening, they're not paying attention, they're going to the bar, the bathroom. So I think that speeches should be eliminated from wedding day. I know it sounds weird and it's been happening for so long, but it just hurts my heart when people aren't listening or paying attention and you're involved and you're in the moment, you're crying, you're just enjoying it, and people are so loud you can't hear or they're making noises. So I think speeches should be done possibly the day before. Like try the rehearsal dinner, right? Because typically at your rehearsal dinner, it's your wedding party, it's your immediate family and friends. That's a great time to share those intimate moments, what you're grateful for the couple, what they mean to you. So I think that's a better idea. And also, too, I feel like it smooths out the reception with less disruptions or distractions where people can just kind of enjoy the night. So once again, don't hate me, but eliminate speeches from wedding days.
She's trying to eliminate all the content I got for a wedding day. She's trying to eliminate all the talk buckets. She's trying. She's trying to take all the things that I need to craft by a great wedding. So essentially, you want to get rid of everything that I would use to make a good film for a wedding day.
Yes and no. I said don't hate me.
She's hobbying me. For me, I would eliminate the cake cutting.
That's still content for you, so you would eliminate that?
I would eliminate the cake cutting.
Okay.
And I think that's it.
Really?
Everything else. So trending all the weddings that I've seen lately, nobody's been doing the garter toss and bouquet toss. It's really like a thing that nobody does. So
Outdated. Like grandma's sitting up front watching you go under her dress. Like,
yeah, especially when like young boys catch the draw, and then like an old lady catches the draw, and it's like a 60-year-old lady.
yeah, it can definitely get awkward. Or the person that catches it has a spouse and the other person doesn't catch it. So like, then the partner's like, you better not go up her leg, or you better not touch her. Like you can get
They're
awkward.
very weird moments, and they just need to be eliminated. Like I said, I haven't really seen a lot lately, but if you plan to do one, just don't.
Yeah.
Or if you do one, don't do the exchange. Like when the guy has to put the garter on.
Yeah, okay.
Just don't do that. Just throw it, be done with it out the way.
Okay. Good compromise.
The cake cutting, like,
What don't you like about cake cutting?
so I think I hate either you got to be all in on the cake cutting or not at all. Like a lot of brides I've seen, the couples are doing like the silent cake cutting where like everybody still goes, everybody sees all the photographers,
Yeah.
all the people coming over by the cake, and then everybody comes over to the cake, and then we still filming it like it's not silent. So if you do want to cut the cake, bring the cake in the middle of the dance floor. Let's light it up. Let's make it a thing, and let's cut the cake that way.
Like if it's a moment, make it a full moment.
Leave it for me. Like this silent cake cutting gotta go, man.
I don't know if I agree or disagree because I have some couples where they're like shy or they'll say like I don't like attention, so we don't have to announce it. I think they don't want to like mess up the flow of the night, so they're like, hey DJ, keep playing your music. We're just gonna be over here with the photographer, videographer capturing the moment, so you don't have to stop what you're doing, but we're just gonna capture real quick. I think
when people say that they're nervous on their wedding day, or not nervous, everybody's nervous on their wedding day. That's for sure.
really,
People get nervous when
yes, people do.
But attention, if you're shy, this is the one day of your adult life that everyone's eyes are on you.
Yes, but people can still be shy.
But this is the one day.
One day, then they're not used to having all this attention,
One
or they
day.
don't want the attention.
This is the one day that you invited everyone in your life to come see you. So being shy on a wedding day is not something that you should be. Be nervous
Yeah,
to do things, but don't be shy. There is a difference, I think.
I agree to disagree. If you're shy, you can't change that for one
You
day.
need to. It's your wedding day. You invited everybody to be there, or don't have a big wedding. Don't have a wedding at all.
But-
Don't get a shit. Go
Or
alone.
you just have an unannounced cake cut.
Have a small, like,
on and
Like cake cutting's the smallest thing inside of that. You still gotta get married. You gotta walk down the aisle in front of everybody. You gotta stand up there. You have to do a first entrance. You gotta do your first dance. You gotta dance. All of those things are the least of your worries of cutting cake.
Fine, we'll eliminate off the top.
Being shy at the end of the wedding day is something you shouldn't be. We've already been through all the hardest things. And this is the end of the day. Like, let's knock this shit out. Let's keep on dancing.
All right, so I'm cutting out speeches. You're cutting out cake
I
cutting.
get rid of the cake cutting,
But we agree.
or go all in on it.
But we agree the garter bouquet get rid of.
Garden bouquet, got it.
We can't agree on that one though. You got
Gotta go, garden. It gotta go.
All right, to wrap it all up about timelines, my advice is talk to your wedding planner, talk to photo video, see what's most important for you and what you want to capture on the day, and make sure that it's all on your timeline. Communicate what you want, what you don't want, what you're looking forward to, and what you need. A good wedding planner, photo video team will listen to what you need or what you want, but then also give you advice on what's important, let you know when the ceremony should start or what time the sunset photo should be, depending on the time of the year. So please pick vendors that are professional and they know what they're doing, and let's all work together.
And my hot take to end this episode is that I believe that all couples should do a first look. And if you're very passionate about not seeing each other, you should be able to do a first touch. It's honestly one of the only times in the wedding day where you and your significant other will be by themselves, or when you'll be by yourselves, it'll be the photographer, videographer, or maybe a planner there. But I truly believe you need to take that time to enjoy each other, enjoy the moment, and really just be present, right? So my hot take is you must have a first look or a first touch. And that wraps up this episode of Plan and Capture. Again, I'm JR.
And I'm Leslie.
See y'all next week.
Bye.